welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren, the film student extraordinaire, and today we're going to be going through the AARP study of multi-level marketing. I read through the entire study, which is 40 pages, so not that long actually, and went through the executive summary. I will leave links for both of those down below, and we'll just get into it.
I was kissing you with my eyes open, but you said keep them closed.
So this study is from 2018, and it's sponsored by the AARP Foundation, which is, according to itself, a nonprofit, non-partisan social welfare organization with a membership that helps people 50 plus have independence, choice, and control in ways that are beneficial to them and affordable to them and society. Basically, it's about providing security, protection, and empowerment to older citizens. If you're not sure what multi-level marketing is, or the term MLM, multi-level marketing is a type of direct selling. So basically, someone can make commission off selling a product or also recruiting someone else to sell the product. Hence, you can hear people refer to them sometimes as pyramid schemes, as there can be an emphasis on recruiting, and there becomes no real product, or the main effort is not to have a product. Also, I just realized I was looking at myself and not the lens, so sorry about that. I will try to look at the lens from now on in this video. Famous companies like Tupperware, Mary Kay, Amway really popularized MLMs back in the 60s. Now there are a ton more. Monate, iGenius, Arbonne, Rodan & Fields, doTERRA, Young Living, Beachbody. It just goes on and on. There's literally MLMs for every single category for life. They've also, according to the study, and I agree, they've had a renaissance due to social media, how easy it is to recruit instead of physical parties. Now people can just reach out for Facebook, Instagram, etc. And they've been expanding into markets beyond the United States with Latin America and Asia. The report's purpose of the study was to address two questions. One, identify the percentage and demographic characteristics of American adults who participated in MLMs during their lifetimes. And two, understand why participants join MLMs and how well they do financially as a result of that participation. How did they figure this out? Basically, they did a survey. Now, the survey was administered to more than 1,000 people, with 601 of those people direct sellers for one or more multi-level organizations currently or in the past, and 415 who never participated in MLM before. These questions were based off focus groups that took place in Seattle and Orange County. Now let's get into the detailed summary findings. Among those 601 sampled respondents who said they were or had been in an MLM, 15% are currently direct sellers as of the time of the study. For sociodemographic characteristics, 60% of MLM participants were female, with respondents' racial and ethnic demographic breakdowns corresponding to that of the United States. So there's no significant difference in race or ethnicity between MLM participants and those who never participated in MLMs based off this study. Current and former MLM participants tend to be well educated, married, working as a paid employee, and living in a house owned by a person in their household. I think this is interesting because, one, we have working as a paid employee, so implying that they have another job as well. So they're not self-employed, the majority of them. They have another job, so they're not making their full-time income from the MLM alone. And they're living in a house owned by a person in their household. So it could be them, or it could be someone else. And I think that's interesting because you may hear people say, oh, I bought this house. Well, did you? Did you own the house? Was it your money that got this? Or was it potentially a partner, a spouse, someone else involved who played a part in getting this house? Regarding the entry into MLMs, the results say that many participants, 45%, joined their first MLM company in their 20s. The average age when they first joined was 29 years old, and in total, the survey participants were aged between 14 and 71. Regarding those who were participating in an MLM, 52 were members of just one, 31 were in two, and 17 participated in three or more. That's a lot of people. The most common MLMs joined in this survey were Amway, Avon, Mary Kay, Tupperware, Pampered Chef and Shakely, Melaleuca, Herbalife, and then there were 77 other MLM organizations that were mentioned, but they were only listed probably once or twice, or under 10 at least, so they're not listed explicitly, but that's so many MLMs. It's unreal. When they were asked why they wanted to join MLM, 60% of people said they joined to make money by selling the product or service, 23 said they wanted to make money by recruiting others to sell, thanks for their honesty there, and 43 wanted to purchase their own company, the company's products at a discount. Only 9% said they joined exclusively for the discount, which is interesting because a lot of people will claim that the reason so many of their income disclosure statements are so low is because some people are just there for the discount. But it can't be so many if it's only 9%. Many MLM companies advise their direct sellers to market to their friends and relatives first as potential customers. And we can look at this survey where we see that 1/3 of MLM participants were recruited by a friend and 6% by a family member, according to this graph. And then we can see there's also neighbors, coworkers, social media, religion, volunteer groups, etc. Then we think about, well, what was your life like when you joined this company? And 40% said they were working a full-time job and wanted extra income. 16% were stay-at-home parents. 12% were students. And 11% were part-time employees. Then there's also a range of major life events that occurred in the 6 months prior to joining: moving, losing a job, graduating from high school or college, having a child, having a lot of debt, and other experiences. Over 50% of those surveyed who joined MLM said within the past 6 months or more, within 6 months or less to when they joined, there was some kind of dramatic life experience shift. And this is how we can see people are especially vulnerable in these times, and that's when they're preyed upon. Additionally, household income was generally low when participants first became involved in direct sales, with 56 making less than $35,000 per year. Among the 415 participants who did not work for an MLM and never have, 43% said they'd been approached but declined to participate, with the most common reason being that they thought the business opportunity they were being recruited for was a scam. And in my personal opinion, not in the study, I happen to agree. These are the reasons that people gave for declining the business. Additionally, if you were approached to join an MLM company, it was more likely that you were very involved in your community than those who had never been asked to join, and also had a significantly higher income and education. I think that is interesting because we think that, but so you have a high income, so you're asked to join, because people think, you can capture this lifestyle well, even though they're setting up for people who had no high lifestyle to succeed. Now we're getting into the investments, profits, and losses in the MLM. All MLM ventures require some form of investment or upfront money before you can earn the money. So 2/3 of the MLM participants said they invested less than $1,000 for inventory purchases, training, and materials during the period they were involved. Another quarter said they spent between $1,000 and $4,999. 11% paid $5,000 or more, and then 23% said they didn't remember how much they invested. Additionally, 4 individuals said they spent over $50,000, which is insane to me. In addition to the finances, MLMers have to invest a lot of their time. They said that they worked an average of 13.3 hours a week. Now, this may not sound like a lot if you're thinking about a full-time job, but you'll often see MLMs advertised as work a couple hours a week for big money. 13.3 hours is not a couple hours a week. That is a significant chunk of time if we're thinking about, you can spend all that time with your baby. No, if you just had a baby and you want to spend time with them, 13 hours away is a lot of time. According to the study, only a quarter of participants made any kind of profit during their time they worked. 14% made less than $5,000. 6% made between $5,000 and $9,999. 3% made between $10,000 and $24,999. And 3% made $25,000 or more. Only 3 individuals, half of 1%, reported profits of $100,000 or more. And those 3 individuals worked for more than 5 years at a company, with one of them working for more than 20 years and put in 10 to 40 hours a week. Additionally, one of the individuals who made all that money founded the organization. Then 285 participants, so 47%, said they lost money by joining, with the majority losing less than $5,000, 3% losing between $5,000 and $9,999, and 1% losing more than $10,000. Then 27% of people claimed they broke even. So we're just having to trust that people understand what breaking even, profits, revenues, expenses mean here. Additionally, while profits were positively correlated with the number of hours worked, so were losses. So this suggests that it doesn't matter how much time and effort you put in, your chances of success are still way up in the air and hit or miss. So if someone ever says, you didn't work hard enough, you may have worked amazingly hard and it just didn't work out for you because the system is flawed. Then here's a chart with the profits and losses with broke even. If we're looking at this, the majority of people either lost money or broke even. The only minimum of people made a profit. Additionally, more than half of the participants said that the MLM company they joined, the representation of achieving financial success was not accurate. Weirdly, though, they still said that they didn't feel the company misled them. I feel like those are contradictory statements. When participants were asked if they received a copy of their company's compensation plan, 47% of people had not. And then only those who did receive it, only about a little over half actually read the whole thing. which is sad. I think it goes to show there's this lack of pushing for all this information. Additionally, only 40% of MLM participants received a copy of the income disclosure statement. So otherwise you're just trusting on blind faith what people are saying instead of looking at actual evidence. Then, out of the 40% of people who received the income disclosure statements, only 16% of people said that it was accurate or felt that it was accurate, which I think is interesting. So that may imply that it feels like maybe it's kind of, I assume, edging on the higher side, where sometimes you'll see averages versus sometimes you'll see medians, but I'm not confident. When it comes to leaving MLMs, there's a variety of reasons. So, about, as I said, 15% of people in the study were still in their MLMs, and half of those were still with the same MLM they initially joined. However, among those who were no longer involved, the most common reason that people left was that they found it awkward pitching to their friends and relatives, followed closely by they didn't make what they expected to, and they didn't like having to sell all the time. There are also reasons like it took too much time, the commission structure benefited those at the top, etc. They also said that knowing what they know now, 65% of the MLM participants would not join the same MLM. However, if they would be joining a different MLM, 62% said no and 25% were not sure. 13% said they would join an MLM, a different MLM, which I think is very interesting because there's this idea that it's not the business structure, it's this particular company. But then if you're company hopping, as we can see some of them did, as we talked about earlier in the study when they were in more than one MLM, it's obviously a whole system problem. Regarding current financial status, significantly more MLM participants have declared bankruptcy at some point in their lifetimes compared to non-participants, with 18% versus 11%. Among those participants who had declared bankruptcy, 72% declared it after their involvement, with 6 people declaring it during the time they worked there. That kind of wraps up the end of the study itself, and then it goes into a little checklist that they came up with research to ask for and see, if you're looking into joining an MLM, what should I really be looking for? And here's what the AARP says you should be looking for. You should review the income disclosure statement, earnings statement, or compensation plan to get an accurate picture of annual income levels, and look for information about whether or not income comes from selling or recruiting other salespeople. Additionally, you want to see the percentage of participants earning at each level. If it's difficult to find, which it says it might be, ask for clarity. And also remember that income disclosure statements do not include expenses incurred by participants. Also look at the return policy. How long can you return products for? Is it a full refund if it's unsold? Is there a restocking fee, etc.? Read the policy in full. Look at the policies and procedures. Look for requirements around minimum sales, carrying inventory, and frequency of payments. You can also look at the Better Business Bureau, and be sure to look at the review for the national office. You can also do a general Google search or Bing or Yahoo and look at reviews, success, complaint work hours, and if there's any class action lawsuits. And remember, always consider the source of the website. What are the motivations people have for posting? Are they a former member or are they still selling products, etc.? I will also leave some links down below from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, some links from the Better Business Bureau, from something called the Balanced Small Business called 10 Signs It's an MLM Scam, and then some additional videos by John Oliver and Dave Ramsey to see if what you're potentially joining could be a scam. If you're going to ask someone about multi-level marketing, or if someone tries to ask you to join them, here are some questions you can ask. How long have you worked for this MLM? Why did you join? Have you achieved that goal? How much money have you invested so far? How much have you earned? Is it more or less than you expected? How much time do you spend on the business each week? What's the best part of the business? The worst part? Did you have sales experience before joining? How much of your sales are to friends or family? Do you feel like you had enough training? Do you make more money by selling the product or recruiting to other people? I think those are great questions. I do believe that it's likely that people will give half-truths. I don't want to claim the outright lie. But I think it's definitely worth asking these questions, looking into it. It's a serious thing to join a company like this, as there are a lot of relatively bad things that can happen because of it. With that being said, I hope this was interesting. I hope you learned something. And if you're thinking about joining an MLM, please do all those things. Research, look into it, ask a lot of questions, because once you're in it, it's a lot harder to cancel than to never give any kind of payment info at all. With that, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below any thoughts you have, and I will see you next time, so be sure to subscribe.